Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can link Stripe with Mailerlite using Zapier. Now, if you haven't got the paid version of Mailerlite, of course, you can't add a payment button, which means that you can't have automations. Now, Zapier can be a workaround, but in order for it to work effectively, you will need to have the paid version of Zapier. And it actually works out, I think that's $19 a month. So it will actually work out cheaper for you if you're trying to use it as a workaround for the free Mailerlite to actually use the paid version of Mailerlite. It will probably work out cheaper. That being said, if you already have the paid version of Zapier because you use it for other things, so I use it to connect group leads to Google Sheets, to connect it to Kartra, then it obviously wouldn't cost me any more. So you need to weigh that up. So I'm going to show you how it is done, and then it will be completely up to you whether or not you just go, do you know what, I'm just going to go for the paid version of Mailerlite, or you want to use Zapier. So I'm going to share my screen, and what you want to do is you want to go to Zapier, and basically it's creating workflows to link one thing to another. So I'm going to create a new Zap, and what we want to do is we want it to kick off when somebody does something in Stripe. So perhaps you've got a free Mailerlite and you've put your Stripe button in it, so you want it to kick off an automation once somebody has done something in Stripe. And so that will be one of these items. So it could be, it will more likely be when a new payment is completed. So it will ask you to continue. It will ask you to choose an account. So it will ask you to connect your Stripe account to Zapier. So for some reason it's done it twice. I will hit continue, and then it will find a test trigger. So you click on that and it will tell you, yes, we found payment. Yes, this would work. Now, this is where you will need the paid version, because if you use Stripe for more than one thing and you set up this automation, test trigger again, let's find that. A payment was found. There you go. So if you use Stripe for more than one thing, basically, if you're not using the paid version and you just go straight to connect this to Mailerlite, every time somebody creates a new payment, whatever the product, it will basically just link them into Mailerlite. So in order for it to be effective, what we want to do next is put in a filter. So we want it to be, yes, we want this to happen in Stripe, but we only want it to happen when it is a certain thing. So perhaps it's a certain priced product. So we only proceed if, so continue if the field, so you can see that it says customer name field is £10. So say, but again, this will only work if you've got one product that is £10. If you've got more than one product that is £10, you might want to do it so that you have a product that's only $9.99. But again, this is only available on the paid version of Zapier. If I didn't do this, so let me just delete this step. Yes, I want to delete that step. And I just went straight to Mailerlite. So let's go to Mailerlite here. I can choose an app or an event. So I can create or update a subscriber. So it's going to ask me to connect my Mailerlite, which I can do. No. So it will ask me to connect. It does match your record, you see. Just signed in with those details. Let's do this. Joys of Tech. There you go. Okay, let's do it with my other account. There you go. Authorize. So I'll just do it with the other account for now. There you go. There you go. So select an account, Mailerlite, the Bell Cake Company. Okay. So I can connect that and I can continue. So I can add them. All it's asking me to do, I can't add them to a new group. All it's asking me to do is create or update a subscriber. So the email we draw from the text that is already there. Resubscribe, true. We want them to resubscribe if it had previously unsubscribed. So this is what we want them to do, and we want to add them to the group. So the setup action would be that we'd add them to a group, and this would work. So we can continue this. So what would happen is we would take payment in Stripe, and once we've taken that payment in Stripe, we would upload them to Mailerlite. So we want to test and review. So we want to see if this works. So I'm not ready to publish my Zap yet. So great, a subscriber was sent to Mailerlite about 1 second ago. So that means that you can then go into Mailerlite and set up an automation. But like I say, what this does mean is it will work anytime somebody purchases something in Mailerlite. They will automatically get added to a group. Now, once you are in Mailerlite, you can set up automations. But like I say, it's not really a great workaround. So what we've done here is we've set up a Zap that if somebody makes a payment in Stripe, they will be added to your Mailerlite account. But if, for argument's sake, they're creating a certain product and you want to be able to send them a certain thing, you don't want it to be any Tom, Dick or Harry that's making a payment. You want it if they have set up a specific payment. So in that case, we would add a filter. And again, this is what I mean. This is only on the paid version. So we would then go, but we only want it if the amount contains exactly matches £10. Okay. So we would want that. So then we can continue and we can set up that test. So your Zap would have continued. So that's okay, because we know that that's the Zap that we would have wanted. So we can continue, we can set them up to a group. And once you're in, so we can retest that, we know that it works. So that is how you would do it. And then if I went into Mailerlite, the subscriber would be there in the group that I put them in. And then you could, of course, create an automation that would mean that, so if I go into Mailerlite, I'm in a different one, you could then create an automation. So depending on what group you've added them to, you can create your first workflow. So if you want to send them a PDF, the workflow trigger would be, so you'd select it when a subscriber joins a group. And so you would choose the group that you've added them to. So of course, these are different ones on here. So if I added them to the main mailing list, I would call a group something specific. So for example, if they wanted to, if they'd purchased something, I would perhaps use breadcrumbing workshop purchase. So I would hit save, and then it would be that I want to send them an email. So if you're sending them a paid for PDF, then of course you would then create the email, you'd have the link to your PDF in it, and then you would send it. So that is how you do it. Like I say, it's a great workaround if you're only selling one product on Stripe, because otherwise, every time a payment is taken in Stripe, it will automatically take them through that workflow if you don't want to use the free version. Otherwise, you do have to pay for the paid version so that you can filter that down to make it to be a specific amount. And like I say, if you're doing that, then it costs $19.99 in dollars for the paid version of Zapier. So you may be better off for the paid version of Mailerlite at $10 if you want to automate it all. So I do hope that makes sense. That's how you do it all. That's how you set it all up. But again, with the free versions, you are very, very limited. So it would basically trigger every time somebody took a new payment. So that's what you want to avoid. So I hope that that helps. I hope that that makes sense. As always, if you have any questions, do please post them in the comments, and please feel free to like and subscribe.